All right, guys, we're back again with another great episode of PFREI. I'm your host, Fuquan Bilal. Today we got Brent Bowers, the land sharks. We was actually just offline talking about alligators, which is different from sharks. So that was awesome. A vacation with alligators, and you said you caught one on Friday. We'll talk about that. Great to have you back on the show, man. I really appreciate it. For listeners who may not know your background, if you would be so kind to just explain a little bit about, how did you get your start in real estate, and then, brief intro your background.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. And I got started in 2007. I was a seminar junkie. I purchased every course and book I could get my hands on. I racked up tremendous amounts of debt and then started out in 2007, right after I got my real estate license. Probably the worst timing ever. Actually quit in 2009. I was just throwing the towels like, man, there's just got to be something better than this because I'm now went from owning my own business to a real estate agent to having a rental property. Now I can't afford rent. So I joined the military, kind of reset my life, took a little break, did a couple of combat deployments to Afghanistan, got back involved in real estate in 2013. Finally, I got out of the military in 2018 because I hit the jackpot with land investing and doing notes, creating notes, kind of like what you talk about. And haven't had a real job since 2018, so it's been good.
Real job. Real estate is twice as hard as probably a regular job. I mean, it helps you get the freedom and stuff you want, but we all know this is not easy.
Yeah, there's some sacrifice. There's some
Yeah.
there, like, for instance, like there's some issues, like every once in a while, like for instance, I just found out there's a lien on one of my parcels of land. It's like, what in the world? How did that happen? Like, there's always a challenge. You're always going to have some challenges, but I mean, is the money good? Absolutely. It's so much better. I used to work
Perfect.
literally 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. If you're deployed in Afghanistan or in the field, like, you're always working. And my job, my pay never increased. It was always like, a couple $1,000s a month, and that's it. But you
Yeah.
work that hard in real estate and then have a team, get an executive assistant or an acquisition manager or somebody to help you leverage. I mean, you should be making $4,000 or $5,000 a day.
Absolutely. What branch were you in?
I was in the Army.
In the Army. Okay, that's what's up. Thank you for your service. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, well, let's talk about it, man. Before we get into the land stuff, I want to talk about current marketplace we in. So you do some seller finance stuff, so you could kind of control the price of the paper, and the discount you want to give. But I would assume most of your, if you don't have a fund or if you're raising private capital, most of it is private. So for land deals, you're not really subjected to what's happening now with interest rates, right? You are
Yeah, if
private,
anything,
or
it's
your lender
helping
jacking
me.
the rate.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's kind of both ways. I'm paying my private lenders, so I do have a lot of private lenders. I use my own money as well, um, but I'm paying my private lenders a little bit more interest now. But it's also allowing me to get a higher interest rate, just because, like, I actually started this in 2016. I used to do 0% interest. Then I did 4% interest. And then I really got crazy and I charged 6% interest. And then it's like, I told my team in probably 2019, I was like, let's start shooting for 12%. If we get it, we hit the jackpot. If we get 9%, if we have to, if the buyer negotiates us down, or we can negotiate down to let the buyer of the land parcel feel like they're winning, then 9% is incredible. But now it's like 12%. People don't blink an eye at it.
Yeah, that's what we are in the marketplace. Now I remember the conversation we had before because I was saying, hey, those notes you're creating, you can do like a collateral assignment and borrow against it. And I was in the lobby
Yes.
of a hotel in Dallas, Texas when I told you that. I remember
Yep.
I
Yep.
did an
Yep.
interview in the lobby of a hotel in Dallas,
I
Texas.
thought your background changed.
Yeah. I'm in a podcast studio. So that's where we are now. But yeah, I remember that saying, hey, you're generating a lot of notes. Those notes are actually assets that you can, instead of selling them, borrow against them and
Yeah,
hypothecate them. So don't know if you tried that strategy yet, because I saw
I
your
have
note
it.
when I was talking about it. He was like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, we
Yeah.
get notes all the time.
And at the time, I really needed some cash. So I thought that was the most brilliant thing ever. And then it's like my cash situation changed very well. So I've got cash now, and then I got more lenders. So I haven't touched my notes. It's just been nice kind of just collecting those payments. I mean, we've got 69 parcels of land paying us every single month. So with the program that I use, easynotetracking.com, I hit too many payments on the first of the month. So I said, okay, let's go to the second of the month, the third of the month, the fourth of the month, the fifth. So now we get paid every single day.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. There's nothing better than a paycheck every day instead of every week or every month. That's a genius idea.
I mean,
Wow.
I didn't create it. Trust me. It was just because it was a challenge. So I just told my team, all right, start with the second. And when we run out of days on the second, we'll go to the third. So some days we're paid like 6 or 8 times. Some days one, maybe some days two. So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
works
that's
out.
awesome. You have it. The rain is dropping, right? That's awesome.
Hey, sawdust
Um,
shavings make piles. That's all I'm going to say.
Sawdust shaving make piles. I hear it. So let's talk about operations a bit. So the last time I had you on, you kind of walked me through the scenario that, you guys kind of do direct to seller, you kind of get them under contract, you buy the land, and then you set up for success for someone who wants to take that land and reposition it maybe to a new build or a land lease or whatever, something like that. If you could just run, I guess, through the process again,
Yeah,
that'd be
let's break it down. So I've evolved a little bit. I've changed a little bit since we last spoke. I'm now doing more expensive parcels of land where the realtors take over the sales side of it. I used to
great.
sell a lot of this myself by, Craigslist and Facebook, Marketplace, Facebook buy sell groups, bandit signs, calling the neighbors, sending the neighbors a letter. But now I've moved up into a more expensive category of land, and I'm teaching my land sharks how to do it as well. And what we do is we go on Zillow and Redfin, and we look for demand. We look for to see where the land is selling, and we start in our own backyard, and then we expand out from there. Once we figure out where that land's selling, we figure out the demand or the cluster patterns, is what I call them. Like when you're sighting in your gun, you want to get a tight little cluster group. Once we figure that where that's at, we'll click on all those and see a couple things like how much is the land selling for? What is the most popular land size that's selling? Whether it's half acre lots or 10,000 square foot acre lots. And the third most important thing is, well, I shouldn't say the most important thing, but the third thing that I want to see is who it's listed by and who it's bought by, the listing agent of the land and the buyer's agent of the land. That's going to tell me a lot about that area, what size parcel, what it's selling for, who's selling it. And now I go and market to everyone that owns land in that area or that neighborhood area. And once we figure that out, we can mail those guys a very specific offer letter. We call it the land offer letter. And I don't know if I gave this out last time I was on the call. We've been triple split testing this land offer letter, the LOL, and it is outperforming by far. Well, let me just tell you what it's outperforming. It's outperforming a postcard and a letter that looks like a check. It's doing better than both of those two put together. And we send that offer letter for a direct amount or an exact amount, what we're willing to pay for that land that will give us a huge profit. And these sellers, these landowners, they'll sign it and send it right back to us. They'll fax it to us. They'll email it to us. They'll call us, sometimes upset because we didn't offer enough. Or sometimes they'll just mail it to us. But if anybody wants a copy of that, go to the landsharks.com/LOL as in land offer letter.
So that's a land offer letter. That is that if they sign it, does it become a binding contract?
So it doesn't bind us
Okay.
as the buyer until we sign it. Now there's another step. Now I've done a couple variations. I'm now testing out just a straight purchase agreement.
Mm,
I send
I
an
like
actual
that.
person. It still
Gangster.
doesn't bind me, and it's one page. This land offer letter seems to be doing better because they'll call and they'll sign it and accept it, and then we'll send another DocuSign with a better purchase agreement. So we're testing and going back and forth. I'm always trying different things because I feel like you can't mess this up as long as you take the income producing activities. Like a lot of people like get in education mode and logo design and do I need an LLC and blah blah blah. I'm gonna spend all this money on a website. Like my sister-in-law got a quote for $30,000 to design her logo. And I said, are you freaking crazy?
What?
Like you
You
haven't even
heard of
started.
$50 logo.com?
Yeah, or 99 designs. I was like,
Yeah,
why do you
yeah,
need a
yeah.
logo? Go make money first. Figure out if
Yeah,
people
yeah.
even want your product.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I like the strategy. Offer letter in the mail, contract in the mail. Yeah, keep me updated on that. That's pretty gangster. I like that. It's
I just
immediate.
put the link
People
in
who's
the
going to
chat.
take action. People who's going to take action is definitely going to be the ones that get through those different testing processes, and you never know what might work. I love that. So let's talk a little bit about your program now. The last time I remember, you actually do like education and teach people how to do exactly what you do. There's a lot of different. What I like about real estate is a lot of different parts, right? You have tax liens, you have notes, you have fix and flips, you have wholesale, you have commercial, you have residential, then you have land, right? And not too many people understand the land game, right? And they don't know that it's a whole nother world. It's like when I first got into notes, when I would tell people what I was doing, nobody knew about. Everybody's like, "What? What's the?" They was used to just the regular real estate. So I'm pretty sure there's this huge market of land buyers, and it's like the best, probably the best kept secret.
Yeah, it has been a secret for quite a while. I feel like people are catching on to it. It's like almost like if you're in the surfing, that wave is behind us. You better be paddling because it's coming. A lot of people are starting to get away from those dirty old stinky cat pee houses. Notes have always fascinated me or resonated with me because, people sign this thing saying they're going to go to work and pay you every single month or every single day or whatever it says on that note. And if they don't pay, they lose that land deal or house or whatever that note is attached to.
Correct. Yeah. So the process of your would you do would you educate, so basically someone will become a student, they'll learn from you, you'll teach them your whole process, where to prospect at. And by the way, what markets are you in, and then what market
Yeah.
do your students just go out in any market and try what you taught them?
Yeah, this pretty much works anywhere land is selling. That tells me there's demand. We need to see demand because if
From the
not, we don't know how
Zillow
to
and the research you guys do, you find out where the demand is at, right?
exactly. So you asked what areas I'm in. I'm really focusing right now on Florida. Tennessee keeps catching my eye. Alabama keeps catching my eye. I started this out in Colorado Springs. That's where I was stationed when I was in the military. Then I jumped into Arizona. We did quite a few land deals out in Arizona. And then I jumped into Florida because that's where my dad was at. Now I'm living in Florida, me and my family. So I'm trying to focus closer to home. Does it always work that way? No. I just got to just hand it to me in Tennessee. I'm just waiting for the land sales specialist realtor to verify the views are there so we can pay for the land. We are buying it for 131,000 and we should be able to sell it for almost $300,000 if the views are there. I'm just verifying right now. I'm in due diligence mode. I want to make sure like I'm not, I think it's a great deal, but I want to make sure I check all the boxes, dot all the I's and cross the T's. But as far as the program, basically I lay out the entire roadmap, step by step process. It's action led. There's not a lot of like fluff or BS. The videos aren't long. I'm showing you step by step how to do land deals. And then we do multiple support calls a week. I give my students my land sharks my cell phone number because it's like, I want you to have that support that you need because this is a lot of work. And there's a lot of questions that someone has in the very beginning. It's not like, let's take a seminar on Saturday and Sunday. And Monday, you're like, where'd that coach go? Like, I need some motivation now because I just got my first no. And most people quit at that point. We need to pick you back up and get you back out there.
Hmm. Now you mentioned earlier in the call acquisition managers and a few key people. What are you? How are you set up? Do you have like? Are you doing? You told me you split tested a few different mailing pieces, but are you doing any cold calling or anything else to kind of generate leads, or just the mail is more inbound leads that you're getting? Are you doing any Google ads, anything?
I've played around with all that stuff. I was actually sued for the TCPA, a couple free text messages and a cold call. So I only do the land offer letters, direct mail, direct to sellers. I'll change it up with the mail pieces. But I really set this up as a lifestyle business. I'm really only trying to do one or two maybe 3 land deals a month, because at the end of the day, like I was doing like about a year and a half ago, we were doing 8 or 9, but they were like $5,000 deals, $8,000 deals, $10,000 deals. Why don't I just do one a month that will net me $80,000, or 2 a month that will net me $50,000? It's a lot easier.
Yeah, 10x is greater than 2x. I think that's the book I just read by Dan Sullivan.
Oh,
That
I
he,
love
oh,
Dan Sullivan. I've got
right.
books all over about with that
Yeah.
guy.
I think
Who?
10x is faster than 2x. Yeah, who not how. Yep, that's the COO book.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
write that
I,
down. 10x is faster than 2x,
that's the
right?
latest one he just wrote. I believe it's 10x is a blue book. And I just finished the last chapter like 2 weeks ago.
Oh
10x
man.
is 10x is faster than 2x, or yeah, something like that. And he talked about focusing on the 20% instead of the 80%, which basically what you did was instead of doing a bunch of the small deals that you can get a lot of, you focused on the biggest deals, which was your 20%, and you made that your one thing. And the
Yeah.
your life is much better because you have more time and you're focusing just on those type of deals. And I think as a business owner, we all struggle with that because we want it all, right? We want to get every nook and cranny and the flower under the baker's fingernail, right? We don't want to let nothing escape. But
Yeah.
what I've learned is not so much focus on the big ticket items, the things that's going to move the needle, right? That's going to give you that quality of life, and that's going to make real estate fun, right? That's going
Yeah.
to the
Because
lifestyle business.
it can get not fun from time to time,
Yeah.
when you're dealing with rentals and rent tenant problems and all these issues, or hey, this person's not paying for their land deal this month, and yada yada. Like, this can become not fun. So, I read in the book, it was written by Walter Isaacson. I believe he wrote it about Steve Jobs. But Steve Jobs, he would say, if I go for 7 days and I'm looking in the mirror, something like this. And I listened to this book on Audible like back in 2010 when I was driving through Germany. He said, if I would go like multiple days and I wasn't happy with what I was doing, I would change it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's powerful. Why are you passionate for real estate investing?
You know, I just love the fact of what we can do with leverage. Like my first land deal, I was so stoked that I paid $285 for a piece of land and I sold it for 5,000. I was like, this should be illegal. There's no way like it could be this easy. This is so much better than, because I used to mow grass for a living, and I would spend, hours, mowing this yard, and I get like $25 a cut. Then I was like, well, real estate will pay me even more. So I started in real estate and ultimately failed in 2007, and then found it again. But what I'm passionate about it is it makes you wealthy while you sleep. You know, we take land and we sell it for a little bit more and we get monthly payments, or passive income. Or I buy this asset, this smoking hot land deal for 131,000, and just remarket it properly and sell it for 300. Like, this is nuts. It's crazy. This should be illegal. And then we take those profits and we buy another asset that's income generating, whether it be a lake house, Airbnb, or my office that I rented out, or 19 unit apartment complex that will generate more money. It's almost like those babies make more babies. And it's just crazy, like how much you can accomplish in a very short amount of time in real estate.
Absolutely, as you get out of it what you put into it. This was really great, man. Another great episode of PFREI. Let's give them some contact information, how they can reach out to you if they want to find more about the Land Shark education stuff you have, and just more about you in general. What you got?
Yeah,
Social media, what you got?
go to I'm definitely on the social medias. Brent L, and the L stands for land. Yes. Brent L Bowers one, or go to the landsharks.com, schedule a call, fill out the application. I will be the one calling you too, by the way. I only take in a few people a month. I need you to be all in, and we'll teach you how to create notes. You can sell notes to Fakwan. I was nervous to say your name. I don't want to mess it up. Like Fakwan, right?
It's Fuquan. We're not our names. Don't
Fuquan.
move in
Okay, I'm
that.
telling you, this Florida education, it's not that good. So if I
I
can
just
do this,
followed. I just followed you on IG.
There we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
But if I can
Oh,
do this, anybody can do this.
yeah. See, you got the cool videos with the word, okay, the captions. Wow. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Make sure you guys follow him on IG. He's verified too. Brent Bowers. He got the little check mark. I got.
Yeah.
I got to get the blue check.
Yeah, I think it's seven
They just
dollars
told
a
me it
month or
costs money. I was like, I don't know.
yeah. I don't know if it's worth it or not. I did it on Facebook and Instagram. It's like $7.99 each. It's like people ask me all the time, should I boost the post to sell the land? No, stop
Yeah.
giving Facebook money.
Awesome. Thanks again, man, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Another great episode of PFREI. I'm your host, Fupan Bilal. Passion for real estate investment. Make sure you tell a friend, tell a friend. If you see us on YouTube, like us, share us, and all that good stuff, and you can catch us where you catch all the other podcasts. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Just another day. We bringing you value. Brent Bowers, the land shark. Thanks a lot, buddy. Appreciate it.
God bless Fuquan.